So I would like to have the privilege of introducing your next speaker. He's going to highlight what is on tap for this year's Seafair weekend. Eric Corning is the president and CEO of Seafair, and many of you know that Eric and I worked together for many years at Seafair together. And I just have to give him so much kudos for the work that he's done the past 2 years. I know during the pandemic it's been challenging for all of us, but none more so than the festival industry. When you can't gather as a community, and that is the primary purpose behind festivals, you are really in a difficult situation. So Eric has worked really hard to keep that connection front and center in our community, some of it virtually and some of it through just outreach through his volunteer corps and the people that know and love Seafair. You may recall last year we had retired Blue Angels that were part of this program. Just a way to stay connected to the community. But Eric has done a phenomenal job transitioning back into that the time when we can gather again. So I'm very proud to introduce Eric Corning, President and CEO of Seafair.
Hi, thank you so much. We are so excited to be back in person having events. It has been such a long time for us to sit on the bench and be able to wait and make sure it was safe for us to be able to gather people together, but it has been so rewarding being able to go out and do that. I'm going to share with you a little bit of what happens across what we've done across the festival this year, as well as what's happening coming up this next weekend for the final weekend of Seafair. I also just wanted to acknowledge our Seafair board, our volunteers, our family groups, those pirates and clowns, everyone who came together to help just support us, even in the military, where we did Fleet Week virtually over the 2 years of the pandemic. It was just an amazing support group to be able to bring everyone together, to be able to just have something in the community and be able to participate in that way. So, again, just wanted to say thanks for that. Let's see if this is the right button. Okay, so we kicked off this year on the 4th of July with the Amazon Summer 4th. Those are just a couple pictures that we've done there. There's a picture of a boat there at the bottom. That is the Trek. It's a ferry boat that we converted, put some LED boards on it, and be able to try some new things, to be able to entertain and be able to do new things out on the water. The fireworks show in and of itself was spectacular, and it was fun to be able to be back out there, hear the booms of those fireworks over Lake Union. The Torchlight Parade was just this past Saturday night. The Admiral rode in that parade, and among many others. It was, again, another spectacular evening, really a reminder for me of what this parade is all about. And it's really about showcasing the community, in that we had folks that from the Navy Band, we had folks from various cultural groups as well as neighborhood groups all over the Northwest that came together to be able to be part of that occasion. Seattle Fleet Week is happening right now. The ship showed up on Monday, did a parade of ships around Elliott Bay with a Coast Guard search and rescue demonstration. It was spectacular. You can still visit these ships. So they're at Pier 69. There are 2 Canadian vessels that are there, typically from 9 to 3 each day. The tours are free, but you'll get a chance to be able to have a firsthand tour of the ship. But more importantly, you get to meet the sailors and be able to experience what the life is like from their eyes, and be able to talk to them personally about what they do. At Pier 90, we have Navy vessels and a Coast Guard vessel out there as well to tour. The folks at the cruise parking have made it only $10 per car to park rather than the regular cruise parking weekend. So, and again, the tours are free. So please, I encourage you to go out anywhere between today, tomorrow, or Friday or Saturday. Go take one of these tours and be able to see what these ships are really like. So this weekend, Home Street Bank Cup is back. This is our hydroplanes that have been around since 1951. They are going to race for the 70th time out on Lake Washington. And so we're really excited to have them back to be able to bring the rooster tails and be able to bring the excitement of that. They have a new format that they're going to race on Saturday, which is more of a shootout format rather than our traditional 3 laps. And then back to Sunday, we'll do the traditional Home Street Bank Cup 3 laps. But the teams are very competitive this year. They've had a different winner at each of the races so far, so we're really excited about having great racing out there this weekend. So the Blue Angels are just landing, I think, about 15 minutes ago out at Boeing Field. So it's really exciting. The team is finally here after our hiatus since 2019. They're flying brand new jets. They are an F-18 Super Hornet. And this is a little diagram that talks about how much larger they are. They're 30% larger than the old F-18s that they were flying, and they're louder and they're faster. So we're really excited about having some of the jet noise back over Seattle. I'm not sure if you heard number 7 come in yesterday around 2 o'clock, or it was about 1 o'clock or so, but it got my juices going, and I was like, oh, I got the sound of those Blue Angels back again. So really exciting for us. These Super Hornet jets will be parked down at Boeing Field in a different location next to the terminal building, but it's very difficult to be able to see them there. So we've worked with the Museum of Flight to do to bring a number 8 jet over there, as well as do some autograph signings with the Blue Angels at the museum as well, to be able to give some more public interaction. The Blue Angels will fly this year at 3 o'clock p.m. on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if you're looking up in the air at any of those times, that's when they're going to be. When our plans to not close the bridge on 2019, worked with the Department of Transportation, State Patrol, FAA, and a whole litany of other agencies. That all worked, so we won't need to close the bridge again this year as well. So again, about 3 o'clock on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you'll see the Blue Angels in their new jets. They also have a brand new Fat Albert, their C-130 support plane. They just got this painted up this last year, and they do about a 10-minute demonstration. We're really excited about having them out here as well. One of my personal favorite parts of this is what the announcer says when Fat Albert comes out, because it's not announcing Fat Albert. He does a Fat Albert. This is something we found out about in December. The U.S. Air Force said that they were going to bring out an F-35 Lightning II. This jet is the state-of-the-art, this is the frontline jet that the Air Force is running. The woman who flies this jet is Major Kristen Bayo-Wolf, and she has flown this jet for, I believe, 2 years now on the airshow circuit. An amazing pilot. I had a chance to see her once, and this plane does things that planes just aren't supposed to do, being able to make turns and be able to do some thrust vectoring, which is just amazing. This plane will fly at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I really encourage you to come down if you're going to be on a boat, on the land, or anywhere around, even on Mercer Island. But it is, again, her flight, one of those things that it's just spectacular. She could be a headliner all on her own. We were fortunate enough to hear about 3 months ago that the Whidbey Island Naval Air Station has a demonstration team that has growlers, which are those planes you hear when you're up at Deception Pass. And again, they have a demonstration team. They'll be flying at 1:30 in the afternoon each of these days as well. So we have a lot of jets flying with us this year. And the U.S. Army Golden Knights, they are coming back. They're the elite parachute team for the Army. They will land in Genesee Park, right there down in the middle of the field with the food and the music and everything. So it should be a spectacular time with that. Also, the U.S. Coast Guard, their search and rescue demonstration, again, an annual favorite in there. They'll be coming down to perform that over Lake Washington as well. And Boeing has a couple different jets. Typically, we've had a 777 or a 787 or whatnot. This year, we're pulling out, these are jets that are made up in the Puget Sound area. So this Boeing KC-46A Pegasus, this is made up in Everett, and they're going to do a flight. This is a tanker to be able to go do mid-air refueling. And they're also going to bring the Boeing P-8A Poseidon, which is I believe it's a sub-hunter is what they call it. Anyway, we're really excited about having those 2 jets be able to fly over. They'll be on Sunday afternoon. And then if this air show didn't have enough planes in it, we have 3 more. These are my aerobatic guys. These are the guys who come in biplanes and little monowing planes who go and do the twists and turns and things where I do not want to be in that airplane. That's a little much for me. But Brad Worston, John Melby, and Will Allen are coming out as well. So of the boat racing and the spectacular world-class air show that we have, of being able to attract so many folks to be able to come fly over this lake, it's such a unique space to be able to do that. And then I wanted to share with you something that's a little peek into Seafair's future. This is, last summer, we did a prototype of a project called the Amazon Seafair Floating Concerts. And we remember that ferry that we had at the 4th of July, we put a concert stage on it and put a band on it and put some banners on it and went out and just did a concert for the folks in Lake Union. For free, and people came out in inner tubes and paddle boards and their full-on boats and kayaks and whatnot. It was so much fun. This year we're going to do it again, and on August 20th, it's Saturday afternoon from 3 to 6. We're going to do another free concert out on Lake Union, thanks to Amazon. So this is what it looked like on stage to be able to be looking out performing for folks in the water this last summer. This is prototyping our pink flamingo outfit. That's Ken in the very back end of the boat, if you can see him. That's his whole family there. Thank you, Ken, for prototyping that. And this is just another view of the boats and the folks who were enjoying this out here last year. So again, join us this week for Seafair Fleet Week and Seafair Weekend with the Boeing Air Show and the Home Street Bank Cup. Thank you so much, and hope to see you out there.
Thank you, Eric, and wish you the very best this weekend for a safe and fantastic Seafair. And now to introduce our featured speaker is Jimmy Collins. You get your own walk-up song, Jimmy. Jimmy Collins, classification, retired military. Jimmy?
Good afternoon. I'm delighted to have the opportunity to introduce a fellow who's fast becoming one of my friends, Admiral Mel Bubilis. He serves as the commander of the 13th Coast Guard District right here in downtown Seattle. It's their headquarters. He's responsible for all Coast Guard operations throughout the Pacific Northwest, including the states of Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and Montana. He's got 4,400 miles of coastline, 600 miles of inland waterways, and 125 nautical mile international border with our friendly allies from the north, from Canada. Admiral Bouboulis will highlight recent rescues and exciting achievements of local Coast Guard members, as well as touch upon the Coast Guard's broader role in maritime safety and commerce here in the Pacific Northwest. Mel will also cover both the Coast Guard's current role in the local and international community and aspects of what the Coast Guard plans to bring here to the Pacific Northwest in the years to come. And for those of you that don't get enough about the Coast Guard, I encourage you, they have a wonderful museum down on Pier 36 that, just like Seafair, we're working to get it reintroduced to the community. And I understand they're open on Sundays from 1 to 4. Call ahead to make sure you got the gate code. But the key thing is that they'd love to have you. Admiral Mel Bubilis.
All right, thanks, Jimmy. And it's a pleasure to be here. Faith, thank you for kind of putting everything in context here. And I tell you, I'm a legacy Coast Guard guy, so I've been around the water all my life, and I'm certainly happy to be out here. Interesting to hear from Eric and all the stuff going on with Seafair. My Master Chief, Shane Carroll, is a local Washingtonian or Seattle resident, and I tell you, he was really excited when he and I, when we joined together, and he came out here after maybe, 20 years of service before he got back home, and he was telling me about all the stuff at Seafair, and then we didn't have it last year in person. I was a little disappointed, but he was telling me about the hydroplane races and all the stuff going on, and actually shared that his introduction to the Coast Guard, or the way that he got into the Coast Guard, was visiting one of the ships down there. during Seafair. So spread the word, the Coast Guard's hiring. We might have a little bit about that later on. So Beth, thank you, Eric, and for all the invitee or the other distinguished guests and all, welcome, thank you for being here. I won't go through all the names, we went through the introductions earlier, but I wanted to say thank you to the Navy band out here, and again, I think that's the third time I've heard you do the national anthem, and it's you bang it out every time. It's awesome. Thank you. Okay, so this is my first in-person Fleet Week, and I tell you, I've enjoyed it already. Eric talked about a lot of the activities that had gone on, and so far I've been fortunate to be involved with a lot of those. In fact, I was so amped up about all the activities. I actually had a hard time falling asleep last night. I had to go back and have a couple glasses of wine before I went to bed. Anyway, I've gotten to ride on a trailered small boat, Coast Guard small boat, for the Torchlight Parade, and attend the Eagles and Anchors reception hosted by the Navy League. Thank you very much for that. And then a lunch on board USS Lake Champlain, so thanks to our Navy compadres for that. And then we hosted our own Coast Guard reception last night aboard the Henry Blake, which is open for tours, so I encourage you to go down there. And I'm really looking forward to the rest of the events this week. Shout out again to the folks from Seafair, Navy League of Seattle, for all the work they've done to put all this together, and the Rotary Club for inviting us here and all your continued community support. And I understand we've got some folks online that are joining us. We're Zooming this out as well. So for all you folks out there, welcome, thank you. I got a thumbs up, you're there? Okay. In your pajamas, I'm in my uniform, it's working out. Anyway. So again, thank you for the opportunity to be here and share a little bit about what's going on in our Coast Guard. I've got some prepared remarks here, and then we're going to try and work this out. We didn't get a chance to practice it individually, but my very capable lieutenant aide back there, Michaela, is going to walk through hopefully some slides that'll align with my remarks here that she ably prepared as well. So. Okay, we're going to see if this works out, Michaela. Okay. Oh, look, I got it right up here. I can look at myself. Okay. So I really appreciate the opportunity to connect back with community leaders, really who are passionate about innovative ways to improve Seattle and give back to our communities. There's been a rapidly changing society, over the last couple years, and some of those connections that we had maybe haven't been as strong. I know with me coming into my position, I've been in here about a year, and we've tried to make as many connections as we could with virtual, but the in-person stuff really makes a difference. I mean, the opportunity to get together with Canadian partners, Navy folks, and then all the community leaders really pays dividends. And as an organization that's really rooted in serving our country, and the communities in which we live, your Coast Guard is continuously seeking ways to progress, get involved, and strengthen our partnerships with like-minded organizations. So again, I appreciate the time to be here and reconnect. So I've been in the Coast Guard over 3 decades, and I tell you, I really believe there's no better time to be in the Coast Guard, and particularly in the Pacific Northwest, than today. I'll share with you some of the things that are going on, but it's an exciting time to be in the Coast Guard. And we continually seek ways to better serve our nation, and here in the 13th District, we're at the forefront of some of those efforts, and I'll speak more to that a little bit later. So before we came up, I think I was supposed to have some type of whiz-bang video that was going to come up, and I was going to like do a pirouette or something, and do we have the video? Okay, is now the time for the video? Okay.
This is where over 1,000 Coast Guard men and women serve 365 days, 24/7.
The high-paced environment of this area of responsibility is a big challenge. Not 1, 2 cases are alike, so you have to be able to adapt and be flexible in the way you approach certain cases.
You can be faced with any type of mission, from something in a surf zone off the West Coast to an inland search and rescue case in the mountains, or a search for a person in the water out in a more remote area.
There's breaking bars, and our coasties are trained to operate in those conditions.
Being out here on the buoy deck is a lot of hard work, long days, a lot of manual labor.
The Coast Guard operates two icebreakers that operate in our high latitudes. Seattle is the gateway to the Arctic and the Antarctic. I'm very proud of the work that the men and women of the U.S. Coast Guard do here in the Puget Sound region.
This is a rewarding job because you know what you've done to help the community and the mariners out here on the water.
I'm very proud to serve the people of the Puget Sound. Interacting with the public on a day-to-day basis is definitely one of the high points of the job. Everybody here is very friendly, great to get along with.
Overcoming the challenges here in this AOR, I think, are why we all serve, why we all signed up, is just serving the community.
I don't know about that. And that concludes my remarks. I don't know that I can top that, but what I do want to share is, you saw some neat video there of a lot of things going on in your district, District 13, that I have the privilege to oversee and be responsible for and lead these great people. And that video was put together clearly from folks who serve in this area, but by folks who serve in this area as well. So I'm really pleased with how they perform their duties, their commitment to serving you all, and their involvement with the communities. And I tell you, it's just great. One of the events we were at, the Eagles and Anchors event, and Admiral Sardello mentioned the young people that we have that are in our service and how sharp they are, and I share that as well. So thank you, Admiral. We got great young people in our services. So I want to take a couple of minutes to tell you a little bit about our Coast Guard, and I'll go through some things and talk some broader activities, missions of the Coast Guard, and then we'll bring it back down to this area, and then try and get through in maybe 10 minutes or so that we can open it up for any questions in case you all want to know something more specific. So our Coast Guard plays a critical role in ensuring the safety at sea, regulating maritime commerce, protecting the environment, and ensuring national and homeland security. It was the smallest of the armed forces, well, before the Space Force came along, but we're there. Anyway, we got just over 50,000 members, and the Coast Guard operates globally. I mean, literally from the Arctic to the Antarctic. You saw some of the icebreakers there, and from the Mediterranean to the China Seas. And we've got about 259 ships, 200 aircraft, and 1,600 boats of various sizes. And we're a diverse branch with 11 statutory missions. You can see the missions listed across the top of the slide there. There's one missing, which is icebreaking. We don't do icebreaking in District 13, but we are home to the nation's only icebreakers. So I'm proud of that, and I can see them from my office. So our statutory missions range from conducting search and rescue to ensuring that the safety of our ports and waterways, through enforcement activities and regulatory activities, and maintaining aids to navigations. Our members coordinate responses to maritime incidents and enforce living marine resource regulations to ensure that we're good stewards of the environment, and that our nation, that we harvest our living resources responsibly and legally, and enforce the same across the world, really. Here in D13, we've got about 3,000 active duty, reserve, civilian, and auxiliary women and men. The auxiliary are volunteer folks, much like yourselves, who volunteer not only their time, but their assets, and we reimburse them for fuel and some maintenance costs and all, but they go out and represent us in places where we couldn't be with our small forces. You heard before that the Coast Guard District 13 is comprised of the states of Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and Montana. You know, Idaho and Montana, not a whole lot going on there, but we do have the Snake and Columbia River systems that provide a lot of maritime commerce transport through there. And then some of the outlying lakes in the areas where there's a lot of recreational boating, and that's where our auxiliary really helps us out. Sometimes they're the only presence that we have out there. Additionally, we have within the 3 states, there are 4 states that I mentioned, we've got 3 air stations, 19 cutters. Cutters for us are vessels that are larger than 65 feet. We have 4 AIDS navigation teams, a maritime safety unit, and 15 small boat stations, including majority of the Coast Guard surf stations. That 47, the gray boat that you saw plunging through the surf, that's one of the surf stations. We've got breaking bars that are out here and encounter regularly seas, breaking waves that are over 20 feet. And it's neat to see those boats. That's what we call boats working in those areas that we call surf stations. We're also home to a couple of specialized forces. The National Motor Lifeboat Station, the only one in the United States, is located here. And the Advanced Rescue Swimmer and Advanced Helicopter Rescue School, as well as a Maritime Force Protection Unit, which is over in Navy Bangor at the Trident base. And they provide force protection and security for the Navy's national security mission and deterrence missions. So all these units play a critical role in overseeing the maritime transportation system, which is really vital, not only the Pacific Northwest, but our nation at large. Waterborne cargo and associated activities contribute to more than 68,000 jobs for the state of Oregon and over 500,000 jobs for the state of Washington. And here's some numbers for you. Annually, they generate more than $250 billion worth of revenue and activity, economic activity between the 2 states. And then with Puget Sound alone, District 13 ensures a safe passage of the nation's largest ferry system, transporting 25 million ferry passengers a year. We also facilitate vital commerce links between Puget Sound, the Salish Sea, and the Straits. And internationally, the Coast Guard works closely with our Canadian partners in the region, and specifically we've implemented a joint vessel shipwrighter program where members of the Coast Guard, the U.S. Coast Guard, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, and Canadian Coast Guard folks ride on one another's ships in order to enforce laws and ensure safety and security for both our interests. We also work closely with the vessel traffic system. That's a network of sensors and communications networks on both sides of the border to safely move thousands of vessels a year in and out of the Straits of Juan de Fuca and the commercial ports both north and south of the border. Seattle also serves as the gateway to the Arctic. You saw that in one of the video clips. And you know, the Coast Guard or the United States is a long-term Arctic nation, and our strategy is really dependent upon this city and the icebreaking assets that the Coast Guard operates out of here. Icebreakers give us the access as an Arctic nation, both to the Arctic and the Antarctic regions. We provide security in the area, a presence. We do research, scientific research, so we're always monitoring the area. And it really is important, I think, to our national security where presence equals influence. And we enforce the international rules-based order, which continues in the maritime domain. You know, as our planet warms and those polar regions become more accessible, there's great competition for those areas. So it's important that we're up there and your Coast Guard's up there. All right, we got the slides timed great, it looks like. Okay, as I mentioned, I don't think there's a better time to be in the Coast Guard. You know, we've got phenomenal people, and we're completing and executing exciting and meaningful missions, and that really gives our people a sense of purpose. And I could fill the rest of the week with some of the great things that we're doing. I've got a couple of things I wanted to highlight, but our Coast Guard members, again, they just do great work, and I'll share a few of these highlights. Last month, an aircrew from Air Station North Bend leapt into action and assisted local authorities with rescuing a woman who fell down a remote cliff near Bandon, Oregon. The Coast Guard landed a helicopter on the beach in order to safely and quickly load her into the aircraft and then airlift her directly to the medical care. Around the same time, a crew from Coast Guard Air Station Port Angeles rescued a female hiker near the Brothers area of the Olympic National Park. The hoist occurred while the helicopter hovered 3,800 feet in elevation, and the hiker was brought in stable condition to a local hospital. I'm sorry, when the helicopters go, I still, as a prior helicopter pilot with about 3,000 hours, I just got to stop and take it in. But not all that work was done with helicopters. We got lots of small boats that are doing operations as well. And our small boats, you can probably see them. They were doing some of the enforcement and security enforcement as they had the ships, parade of ships and all. And of course, you see them out there on a daily basis, protecting our mariners, responding to search and rescue, and just ensuring that people are doing things safely and effectively. So we've got those excellent coasties all throughout District 13. Let me share just one of them. Absolutely outstanding member was recently recognized as the winner of the Fireman First Class Paul Clark Boat Forces Engineer Award. That's a lot to say, but Machinist Mate Second Class Mara Darvos was recognized for her technical acumen and expertise in leadership. I mean, just a sharp gal. She serves as boat engineer, pursuit crewman, and a boarding officer at Station Bellingham, just up north. And in those roles, she logged over 200 underway hours, completing missions on small boats, and conducting or directing more than 100 search and rescue cases. These efforts resulted in 65 lives saved or assisted and more than $300,000 in property safeguarded. Doesn't sound like much for one particular unit, but you can multiply that amongst the other 15 units that we have, and we make a huge and dramatic impact on the area here in keeping mariners safe. In addition to her operational achievements, she was a leader in the engineering department and has been instrumental to 4 main diesel engine and reduction gear replacements, ensuring Station Bellingham was always ready for the call. And that's just one example of our 15 small boats. So looking forward to the future, let me share a couple of things that, again, that I'm excited about. There's great things ahead for our Coast Guard members, and I'm excited to look forward to the future here in the Pacific Northwest. As you probably heard, we're looking to expand our current footprint at Base Seattle to include or accommodate 3 new polar security cutters. We call them polar security cutters. They're heavy icebreakers, but because of the multi-mission role that they're going to have in their presence, made sense to call them polar security cutters rather than icebreakers. But they're coming to Seattle. Metal's been cut on the first one, and we've got funding for the next 2. These cutters will allow the United States to substantially increase its presence in the Arctic. And again, in the Arctic, presence equals influence. And the Coast Guard's really a key role to protect U.S. governance and sovereignty and advance safety and security and environmental responsible actions in that region. So as we speak, some of you may be familiar with our other Coast Guard cutter, the Healy, which is stationed out of Seattle as well. That's headed north right now in the Arctic, completing a exploratory scientific research mission to showcase some of our continued commitment in the region. So the expansion of Base Seattle, again, will allow us to become the focal footprint for the United States strategy as we increase our Arctic presence in this rapidly changing environment. Depending on the success of the expansion, and maybe we'll talk a little bit afterwards if you're interested in that, but depending on the success of the expansion of Base Seattle, we may even have more cutters here. In addition, the polar security cutters coming to Seattle, we're bringing some more cutters into Astoria. You can see down here the icebreaker on the lower left-hand side of your screen, and then the fast response cutters on the right-hand side there. We have 2 new fast response cutters coming into Astoria. So for the first time, this is going to give District 13 the opportunity or the ability to have a constant offshore presence. Normally, we have to request cutter support from our Pacific area, and you can imagine with all the events going on with the southwest border and great power competition again in the Indian Ocean, China Seas and all, those cutters are often used in other areas. This is going to give us an organic capability to have a constant presence out there to enforce some of our fishing regulations, protect our mariners, and ensure that we're being responsible with harvesting our living marine resources. In addition, we're going to stand up a base, which probably doesn't mean a whole lot to you, but the bases support all these assets. And we're going to stand up a new base there in Seattle, or excuse me, in Astoria, that's going to support these assets and all the people that come in with them. So that was a lot. I'm much more interested in getting to some of the questions and seeing what you folks might be interested in. And for you folks out there in virtual land, I hope you're still paying attention. I think I'll shift over to some questions next, but again, I appreciate the opportunity to be here. I hope the videos added a little context, and I'll have the rest of my time. Ken, I don't know how much I have left. 3 minutes? Okay, 3 questions I heard. Go ahead.
Question.
Thank you all.
First question is from Ken Green.
Okay, Ken. Thank you.
Thank you, Admiral, for being here. 2 questions. Your first slide said ancient albatross. I don't know what that means. And also, why are your icebreakers in Seattle as opposed to, say, up in Alaska where it's closer?
Yeah. Well, let me start in reverse order. So why are they here? One of them is this is a much more accessible port or base to support those cutters. When you think about provisioning fuel and all that, we do operate out of Alaska, Kodiak, and Juneau, but I would say that the logistics trail trying to support those can be a little more challenging there. And then I would ask the commercial fishing fleet the same questions. You know, why are they based out of here and go to Alaska to do their work? Again, just a little more logistically easier to support here. Plus, you know, we're Seahawks fans, so. What's Alaska got, you know? 1 minute left, okay. Oh, ancient albatross.
Last question is John Steckler.
Okay.
Admiral, thank you for being here today. I appreciate that. I hear your request for looking for new servicemen and servicewomen. We'll definitely keep that in mind and put the word out for young people. I also wanted to put out this request to you and to our friends in the Navy as well. You have a lot of servicemen and servicewomen too that are aging out and retiring, looking for their second careers. We would like to offer our services to the Coast Guard and to the Navy as these young people age out and retire at a very young age. We in the Rotary here in Seattle would love to be of service to your people as they're looking to start their second careers, if they're looking for some help. We have hundreds of contacts here in a number of different industries. If we can be of any help to your people, any advice, any mentoring, anything at all, please let them reach out to our club. I personally would be happy to help find the right person to help mentor them into that second career. You've done a lot for us. We appreciate your service. We would love to return that favor to you and to all of your people. Thank you for being here today, and thank you both, and thank you all for your service. Thank you very much.
All right, well, thank you very much. Before I get the hook, okay, I'm gonna say thank you. We're always looking for new talent. I can see you're sitting next to the Command Master Chief, so not only are we looking talent coming in, but we're looking to leverage the talent that we have leaving the service to really just help our communities and our nation at large. You know, we hire young people and we retire productive, dedicated citizens. So, got the card, it's on the screen there. Ancient Albatross. I happen to gain that designation as the senior rated aviator still on active duty. So I'm the oldest flyer still around, you know, that's about it. But I really appreciate the opportunity to get here. Hope we didn't languish on too long. Thank you again. Come on out and see our folks, see our assets, and we'll see you on Lake Washington for sure. All right, thank you. Thanks.
Please give it up for our Coast Guard. One day the Coast Guard will allow in non-citizens and then I will come and gladly help you. That's not a jab, that's just a request. I always wanted to help it, but I'm not a citizen. All right, so now we have a thing called the Knighting of the President. Maybe you've seen this before. Maybe you haven't. Who has not? Well, then you're in for a treat. Off with a head, says the last president that didn't get knighted. That's funny, I heard that. All right, so this has been going on since 1950, which means it's been going on as long as Seafair's been going on, and this is a real privilege, I suspect, because this is only, knighting is only done to those that really purely deserve it throughout our entire community. It's true. To do and to help with our knighting today, I don't have to reintroduce Eric because you already know Eric, but the king right now, and the queen couldn't make it today, but the king today is Rich Gray, who you may know because he was also king in 2019. He is a local actor, composer, works a lot with Fifth Avenue, the ACT Theatre, Children's Theatre, and Arts West. Is also an assistant professor at Cornish. So I'm going to have you two gentlemen come up, and Beth, please, and get your cameras ready, because this really is a treat. Thanks.
That's right. I was crowned, is this on? I was crowned in 2019, and then they didn't crown anyone in 2020 or 2021, and now I'm back in 2022. So as I tell my friends, I am the FDR of King Neptunes. But then, term limits, I'll be out. Okay. One of our great honors, obviously, is knighting people, and there is no one more deserving than Beth Knox. So, I would first like to begin the ceremony. Beth, will you please kneel? Cool thing about this sword, it has all the names of the King Neptunes and Queen Alcyons engraved on it. It's pretty cool. If you have a chance, come up and take a look. Okay. All right. Oh, this is exciting. I promised to not nick an ear. I now knight you as the Queen of all queens, the Knight of all knights, the Dame of all dames, Beth Knox, true friend of Seafair. Now, as we put on the Seafair royalty, now go forth and spread the joy of Seafair throughout the land. You're very good.
Wow, in my day leading Seafair, I oversaw a lot of knightings. But thank you, what a privilege to be knighted here today. Thank you, King Neptune and Eric Corning.